This is episode number 30, weight loss case study. Jake Heuer. Exercise is more than just lifting weights. Welcome to another episode here in Body and Mind Transformation by Custom Body Fitness. This is Sandro, and today I have a great interview by Jake Heuer. He is a business owner and a husband, a family guy, and he gets very busy at home and he gets very busy at work. And he actually talks about how he came and exercised at Custom Body Fitness. What was the trigger point that he was waiting for to actually do something for his life? But it's very happy. Jake is very happy about the decision that he made because exercise has improved a lot of areas of his life. He gave us a lot of good feedback and good insight in this interview. I really recommend you listen to this interview so you know how to deal with the stress and start losing weight. And what is very important is increase your self-confidence. Without further introductions, let's listen to Jake's interview. At CBF, we know that for you to change your body, you need to change your mind. Exercise and eating healthy is only part of the plan. We care about our members as we care about our family, because our members become our family. It is not about competition, but support. It is not about being the strongest or the fastest, but about you defeating your negative self. It is about working together and making the task challenging and have fun. By the end, what matters is not how hard the session was, but that you take control of your mind so you can take control of your body. My name is Sandro, and I'm happy you are part of our family. Welcome to Custom Body Fitness. Welcome everybody to another Custom Body Fitness video clip. We have here my friend Jake, and we want to share with you his story and tips, of course, so you can follow these tips and you can get those results. More than anything, this is the reason why we're doing these videos. Yeah. And I'm very excited to introduce my friend Jake and hear his story and actually teach you what you can do so you can lose weight. Yeah. Jake, welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
It's great having you here.
Glad to be here.
Let's begin from the beginning.
Yeah.
Tell me your story. How everything started, your journey, your weight loss journey.
Man, well, I think I came to you out of embarrassment at first. I was very nervous because I was at a point in my life where work was just very crazy. I had a lot of stress, relationships and friendships, and just work was piling up, and I needed something to get that release. And I kind of emailed you out of a dare, out of my friends and someone else, that I was like, I need to hold myself accountable to something. And what I knew deep down inside was I was kind of insecure about how I was looking, and I just wanted to take control of something. And the only thing I thought I could take control of was my health. So I emailed you, we had a couple conversations, and then I think it was your invitation, based upon my questions, that really kind of made me feel at ease to try something different, because I'd tried to exercise before, but I think it was really kind of the mental invitation that I needed, that I could do something different, for myself.
So you were very stressed, yeah. And you noticed that you were out of shape, and you wanted to take control of something,
yeah.
But you don't know where to start because of embarrassed.
Yep.
And you decide in that moment, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna email Custom Body Fitness, and then I responded to you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how everything started.
I can't remember specifically what the conversation was, because we had a couple different ones, but I think the initial invitation was, hey, I want to lose some weight. I'm just trying to I want to feel more comfortable about myself. But I had thought originally that that just losing weight would make me feel better. And I think immediately you recognize that it's not possible. Like, you have to have the mental like focus first, and it was that conversation with you that exercise is more than just lifting weights. It's about the attitude, and it's about the mental clarity that I think was
I remember now.
yeah, and it was like, well, I thought I just could lift weights and I'd get better, but no, you were specific about eating healthy and dedicating time, and over time, it definitely, I've seen some results.
Let's talk a little bit about your results. So, what's the percentage you lost?
I just found out today that I'm down to like 16% body fat.
Nice. Where were you?
I was pushing 30. I think I was 29 point something. And I was like, I thought that 30% was okay, but according to the national average, that's still very obese, which I think half the country is technically obese. I didn't feel obese, but I felt out of shape. I felt like I couldn't just fully live my life as comfortable and as confident as I wanted to. And I just found out this morning I'm dropping down to 16%. And over the last 5 months now, I think I felt more... I felt the strongest I ever have. I felt the most active and the most confident. Like, if I want to go climb something, or if I want to go arm wrestle some guy in a bar, or if I want to go tackle a mountain lion, then sure, I could probably do that. But I'm not saying I will, but I'm saying, like, I have much more confidence than the old 30% body fat Jake.
That you didn't think you can do things.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. I think it's been cool to kind of watch it slowly pick up progress. And I think with my height, my weight, my body type, like, you notice changes in different areas, and so there's definitely things that I still am excited to work upon, but I think the overall picture, I've noticed the biggest change has been my mental attitude, and
we're gonna talk about those three things.
Okay.
Let's begin by eating.
Yeah.
Tell me about the changes that have given you results. How you used to eat before.
Yeah.
And what did you learn? And how you make those decisions about choosing the foods that you're choosing. Sure. Let's talk about the food that you're choosing and the decisions that you're making.
Yeah. The old Jake was on a steady diet of restaurants, fast food, and just like convenience store, just items. I think I didn't think it was bad because it said low fat, or it was diet, and I didn't eat entirely unhealthy, but I wasn't consistent with eating healthy, and I've been trying to do that since I've been here. Is packing my own lunch, which I think is a huge change for me, just because I'm not forced to just find the most convenient thing when I'm traveling. I've been eating more vegetables just because it's definitely recommended, and I've noticed a change. I like it. It's kind of a different little peak, but yeah, I think it's just the consistency in being mindful about what you are eating versus what you just want to eat at that time.
That's a key word, mindful.
Yeah, and I've definitely noticed that too, where processed foods really stands out. We've had that conversation a lot of times versus what's processed and just what's not. But trying to eat healthy doesn't always mean like you're just eating twigs and berries. You can have really healthy, delicious food. It's just knowing what it is before you just throw it in your mouth, and so.
Yes.
And I think before I was just in a hurry on stress and time constraints just to eat what was in front of me. And so I'm just trying to be more aware. So.
Of what you're eating.
Of what I'm eating.
So now, instead of just eating unconsciously, you know what's processed.
Yeah.
And you're still eating, but you're making that conscious decisions
Sure.
And I think many people struggle with that because they're stressed in life, because they want to make money, because they need to get this job done, because they need to travel, whatever. They just want to eat something instead of making a conscious.
Yeah.
Just like when you go to work, right? Mm-hmm. When you go and build a house, you don't just do it. You're conscious about how you're building it so it doesn't collapse.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
Start with a solid foundation. It requires, that building block to build the rest of things upon. And I think for me, like eating healthy was definitely something I had to just bring myself, just educate myself about, which wasn't difficult. I mean, a lot of people say it's the hardest thing, and it can be if you want it to be. But I still have cheat days, but I know not to gorge out, and get too crazy. And if I do, then I just show up, consistently work out, you know. But,
now, that leads me to the next question.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your workout now.
Yeah.
The same thing. Let's talk about what has been difficult about exercise. Open the time.
Mm-hmm.
You come at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And not only opening the time and come and exercise, because it's not about showing up, and you know that.
Right.
It's about giving your best here.
Right.
And you know that it should be a challenge every single time.
Definitely.
So exercising is not easy. That's why many people are not in shape. Otherwise, everybody will be in shape. If it was like just like go sit in the bar and have a drink, then everybody will be in shape. It's difficult.
Yeah.
How do you overcome those difficulties? How do you open time to come to exercise? How do you make it a priority? And what do you tell yourself when you lift in the heavy weights?
Man, that's a big question. I think my biggest enemy in the whole process is my own mind, and it's just trying to overcome that like frustration that you should sleep in or you should just skip a day. But like I said before, I think my biggest frustration was just trying to deal with all the stress that life has, that I wanted to take control of something, and the one thing I knew I could control was my mind. And that was, if I'm going to do something, I want to pick a time, which unfortunately 5 o'clock is like my only free time, but I wanted to commit 1 hour for myself, 3 days a week. And so for me, it was just really just trying to overcome that negative voice. I don't know if we can say bad words on here, but there's that inner demon or that inner bitch that just constantly just nags and says that you can't do it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm getting up. I'm going to go do this. And so I'm
laughing because I know everybody has that.
And that's the thing. I think that's the one voice that I was trying to silence was that negativity. And like I said, I don't have my notes with me. I could probably go read them later to you. But it was like, I remember thinking that first time we had conversation about goals was just I wanted to take priority of something in my life. And for me, it was just finding a time that would work. And 5 o'clock in the morning isn't convenient, but it was the one time I knew I didn't have distractions. I could just show up. And I was tired a lot of the times. I would show up at 4:59 or I'd wake up at feels like 4:58, and I'd still try to get here and pretend that I'm awake, but it's the fact that I was here. I don't think I had ever left a session not feeling happy that I made it. Like being here at the end of it made it worthwhile. Even if it was a bad workout, I felt good mentally knowing that, you know what? The rest of my day has to look good.
Yeah,
so,
that's all that mental thing, right?
Yeah.
How you start your day is how your day goes, even though things go wrong.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. I had a lot of crappy days after 5 o'clock in the morning, but I still could look back and say, that was the one thing that I felt confident about myself. I was able to make it. And I have a lot of friends that go to the later sessions or the evening sessions, and they tell you too, even though their day is crazy, for them, that would be their release. They would dedicate that as an opportunity to just disconnect from whatever they were dealing with during the day. For me and my schedule, it wouldn't work. I would love to go work with them in the afternoons or the evenings, but just to have that release, I think a lot of people can enjoy as well, just to have a disconnect from the world and say, hey, because I would think they would say the same thing. Even after that session, even if it was a bad session, they would leave mentally feeling great.
Okay, so when you lift in the heavy weights, when you end the training, when you're not awake yet, and then I come and tell you, get those heavier weights or something like that, and you do it because you know you can. But just like I see the inner demon right there telling you can't do this, it's too early or whatever. How do you combat that? How do you fight that back? What do you tell yourself?
Man, there's a part of me that wants to pretend to pick up the weight and put it back down, but you're always watching, so I know that I think for me it's just trusting in you that you're not trying to hurt me and you're not trying to push me faster than I'm ready to go, but it's for me personally it's just trusting in the fact that I don't really know what I'm doing and I just need somebody to kind of give me some guidance. And I think part of that letting go is allowing me to see the results. When I'm trying to do it myself, I lift the same weights, the same time, and I get the same results. And for my entire life, I thought that jogging around the block for 20 minutes would be enough, but like I never could push myself past that next level. So getting the advice and the encouragement from you or Eric or Cynthia, like I think it allows me, although I'm hesitant at times, like to trust the process.
You said it right. Trust the process.
Yeah.
It's fear. I think many people are stopped by fear.
Yeah.
Fear of getting injured, fear of losing things, fear of whatever. And just in general, let's talk about your mindset. How do you used to think before, and now how do you think? How do you think you have progress in that area?
I think I'm trusting myself a lot more, and having seen the results and knowing where I was, I think has allowed me to expand my confidence in other areas. You know, I have got a couple other things I've considered doing, and I'm feeling now that little voice of encouragement in my mind like is beginning to speak louder. I do feel more confident seeing the results, especially over time. And I think a big key to that is tracking that progress. I think the fact that when we started with writing out the goals and clarifying what that was, it gives me a resource to kind of go back to and think, wow, my head was really back there thinking these things, you know, and now to think, well, I don't think that about myself at all anymore, you know, like I think there's a huge change when you put in that work to track that progress, you know, whether it's a journal entry or whether it's a monthly meeting with you. When you have the ability to reflect upon that, then you gain that perspective. And I don't think I had perspective before, so I felt like I was in this tunnel of just of negativity and frustration, but being able to kind of track that has allowed me to see the progress that I've made when I probably couldn't see it on my own, you know.
Perfect. Okay, so the last question. What would you recommend for people to either start losing weight, start their journey, or for people to lose weight, somebody that who already started? What do you think is the most important for people to do to actually get in shape?
Yeah, I think probably the most important thing you could do is just have an honest conversation with yourself about who you are and who you want to be. And for me, like it was a conversation I had for a long time. But the biggest challenge I would give you is just email Custom Body Fitness, you know, and you can be as honest as you want, and Sandro will be as honest as he is, because I think it was your truth that allowed me to kind of just realize that what I had thought was an issue really wasn't an issue. It was just the way I was thinking about it, and then changing that perspective. And I would challenge anybody else out there to just kind of pursue that, for themselves, to figure out what it is, because you can't just say that I'm just going to go exercise for 30 days. It's more of a personal commitment for yourself than it is a commitment to the gym or to lifting a certain amount of weights, So.
Yeah, and one thing that I learned, and it makes sense, people don't like people who lie.
Yeah.
And if you lie to yourself, you don't like yourself.
Oh.
And also, if you're not committed to something, your self-confidence go lower, because you're not committed to it, and you know that you're not committed, and you know that you're not given, and that's why your self-confidence go down.
Mm.
If you commit to yourself, like you say, it's not to the gym, it's not to me, it's not to the trainer, it's not to anybody else, it's to you, and you follow your commitment, your self-confidence raises.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Anything else?
I'd say, I don't know, it's interesting, working out in the mornings. I think some of the strongest people are the women that I'm working out with, seeing their mental focus. For me, sometimes that's encouraging. And there's so many different people that show up here, but the 5 a.m. class is obviously different than the 6, the 7, the 8, but I'm just saying, everybody's going to be coming for their own reasons, but you gain encouragement from the craziest places. I'm not lifting weights next to a bunch of muscle-bound guys, that are just, doing the old pat on the back. I finally lifted what I want, but I'm seeing what some of these people show up with, and just, encouraged by their focus and encouraged by their intention of what they want to do. And I'm like, well, that's why we're here. We're trying to make some healthy changes in our minds, and the result shows up on our body.
Yeah, you're right. We're an army. We are people that we're just trying to improve your life. We're in the same boat. Yeah.
So.
Perfect. Thank you, Jay. That was great. I really appreciate it, my friend. You have no idea.
So, here it is. 60%.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for continuing following us. I hope you like this interview and you learned something out of this and just apply it. Jay said very good things, and I think one of the things that he keeps repeating, I think it's amazing, is your state of mind. The way you're thinking, the things that you say that you think you need to exercise, but it's not that, right? You need to actually, it's actually control your mind. That's what you need to do. Control your mind. Take control of your mind. Once you take control of your mind, everything gets easier. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Please comment in the video if you have any questions.
So there you have the interview. I hope you like it. I'm gonna do the summary, the points that I think are important for you to remember so you can get these great results, lose weight, be confident, and deal with the stress. So remember, exercise is not just lifting weights. It's about your mind. It's about setting goals. It's about understanding what you want, where you're going, and actually do the hard work, which is your mental fight more than lifting the weights. The next point is, not because it says low in fat, it says diet, and it says anything else in the front, that doesn't mean that it's a good product that you should be eating. So don't go with the lies and read the ingredients, and the best thing that you can do is the real food. The next point is exercise. When you come exercise, you feel more confident, not because the exercise itself, it's because the achievement of the exercise. Yeah, it might be difficult when you start exercising, but once you finish, you'll be very happy that you've done your exercise, and your day is gonna be even easier. The next is, if you wanna be confident, exercise, lift the heavy weights, and start losing weight. That will increase your confidence. The next point is the little voice inside of you, you encouragement voice. If you practice that, if you start strengthening your mind, that voice is gonna become louder, just like Jay said. That voice in his head become louder every single time, and not only an exercise that he did better by lifting the weights and showing up on time and not missing his sessions, but he transferred that in different areas of his life, and he became more confident on doing things. And the last thing is, again, with the voice, you want to quiet the negative voice. You need to fight that negative voice that is talking to you, because it's easy for you to follow your negative side and listen to it, stay at home, eat the wrong things, watch TV instead of doing the hard things such as exercise, cooking, and waking up early, so on. So defeat that negative side. Practice to increase your willpower.